Happy New Year. Welcome back. You are listening to the first episode of 2023 of the Bibliotherapy for Black Women podcast. It is yours truly, as always, Amaka. I can't believe that is 2023, but before I get into things, I want to say that, the holidays are very different for everyone. It means different things to different people. So ultimately, I hope that folks listening were at least able to have some time to themselves, whether they celebrated any holidays or not. I hope folks were able to have some time from work, have the ability to rest and recharge, and go into the new year feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. That's my hope. How am I doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. At the time of recording, it is Friday, 2 days before I will publish. And I had planned on recording this episode sooner, but this week was pretty busy for me, so it ended up falling on today, which is fine. I came back in town to New York from Dallas, Texas last night, where a lot of my family lives. And I was there for almost a month. Thankfully, the flexibility of my job allowed me to go there for an extended period of time, and I was able to work there and see my patients there, so that was great. I really appreciate being able to spend time with my mom, an extended period of time. She has a lot of things going on, a lot of goals she has set that she wants to accomplish, and she's well on her way. And there's only so much support you can provide, over phone and what have you. So I really made it a point for myself to go home more last year in 2022. My mom turned 60 next year, and, I pray that she still has a very long life ahead of her, but it is dawning on me more and more that I won't have her forever, I hope and pray that I will have her still for a very long time, but I don't know what it is about these larger milestone birthdays that have me thinking a lot about just family in general and just, spending time with the people that you love if you can, if you have the power to, and, if it is not detrimental to you, mentally or what have you. And in my case, with my mom and a lot of my family, they are a huge source of support for me. They, it's just always a delight to be around them. They're my family. We think a lot of the same way, and we encourage each other. We push each other. We tell each other the truth. And I'm really thankful for the people in my life who I call family, whether, blood related or not. So I was able to spend a lot of time, more time than past years with my family this year, especially summer going into fall and winter. Thankfully, I was able to go back to Texas every other month, and see them, even if it was for a weekend. And then I was initially planning on just doing a short trip for the holidays, the way I used to. But I was like, there really is nothing keeping me from staying longer. Like, why not? Especially since, thankfully, my job is remote. So I can stay for however long and be fine. So I did that, and we made the most of our time together, just talking and catching up and just, being in each other's presence. I think it's underestimated how much that can really rejuvenate you, if your relationship with your family is good. So very, very thankful to have the opportunity to do that. My mom and I embarked on a 30-day health and fitness challenge that we started. Sometimes I think back and I'm like, this was crazy to do in December, right before Christmas, but I did it anyway. So I had decided early December that I was going to embark on a 30-day health and fitness challenge. And my first day was December 11th. So I called my mom and I told her, hey, just want to let you know I'm doing this for the next 30 days, or, it's starting on this day. I just want to let you know because I may not partake in, Christmas festivities when it comes to food, which ended up not being the case, but I'll get into that. So I was like, I just don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I don't want you to be, taken off guard or anything like that. And she was like, oh, tell me more. So I started telling her what my plans were. And she was like, I want to join you. I was like, really? She was like, yeah, I want to join you. So she and I embarked on a 30-day health and fitness challenge. We started December 11th and we ended it January 9th. I lost 11 pounds, which I'm very proud. My goal was to lose 15, which I know I could have done it, but I had a little too much fun on Christmas Day. So I kind of was just like, you know what? I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy myself. So I made a lot of progress up until Christmas, and then I had a setback because of it, but then I got back on track and I ultimately was able to lose 11 pounds over the 30 days. And my mom lost 17 pounds over the 30 days. So we're both really proud of ourselves. We're proud of each other. I still have some weight. I would like to lose another 10 pounds or so, but I'm not going to be as strict as I was outside of Christmas Day. I'm not going to be as strict as I was over the past month. I'm not going to go back to how things were before the challenge though, but because I feel like these last 30 days have really just been a mind shift, and I learned a lot about myself and I feel better. I feel more confident in my appearance and my clothes, and I really can't trade how I feel right now with any seemingly delicious food item that, provides temporary happiness or whatever. So, I mean, it doesn't mean I won't indulge, but it's not going to be the way, it was before. And it wasn't bad before, but I could kind of clean things. I could clean my diet up a little bit, not take too many freedoms here and there and just be a little bit more disciplined. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I was really disciplined this past 30 days and I would just want to keep it going. I want to keep the exercise going. I want to keep, just that my attitude towards food. I just want to keep it going. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of my mom. She has a longer term goal of 40 pounds thereof. So she's going to keep going. Similar to me, she won't be as strict, but she's going to make sure, she continues trending down with doing everything that she's been doing. So that's a little life update there. And, I didn't do anything too drastic. I just made sure I didn't eat many refined carbohydrates, very few, basically no candy, no bread, no baked goods. I took a break on meat, did very little dairy. A lot of what I ate was fruits and vegetables, a lot of legumes, I had a lot of smoothies, a lot of eggs, a lot of fruits and vegetables, I said, a lot of yogurt bowls. I'm a big fan of those now. I'm a fan of the Siggi's non-dairy yogurt. Their vanilla flavor is my favorite. So I would just kind of empty the yogurt cups into a bowl and make it really pretty with fruit and stuff. Drink a lot of water. Water is key. And just exercise, keep moving. There's this app called All Trails that gives you where the information about where different hiking trails are and different parks. So since, I didn't really know the area where we were, I used that app to find really beautiful parks that had long trails. I did a couple of hikes, 6, 7, 8 miles. I think the longest I did was 8 miles. That was crazy. But I did it and I was really proud of myself. And, one part of this 30-day challenge was just to push myself a little harder. And, because it's all in the mind. You are only as limited as you are based off of your limits in your mind. So I was like, 8 miles 3 months ago would have sounded insurmountable. And I did it in a few hours. So really proud of myself for that. And I remember when like 5, 6 miles sounded so long. And now 5, 6 miles is like an average walking day, when I decide to do it. So I guess, I say all this to say, don't wait. Don't wait. I mean, we're beyond New Year's, but I decided to do this a couple weeks before New Year's Day. And, I think ultimately it was great. It was a great decision that I made for myself. And I was in a good frame of mind going into the new year, and I wasn't starting from zero. And, it set me up for continuing to build on the momentum that I had already built up a couple weeks prior. So I am feeling really good. I'm feeling lighter. I'm just feeling better overall. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on this way and just use the momentum I've built over the past month to keep me going until I reach my goals. So that is a life update. And I know I didn't explicitly say it in the beginning of the podcast, but I feel like just kind of catching you guys up to speed with this episode. It won't be particularly book focused, although I will mention what I'm reading right now and ultimately plan on making some episodes about the books. So yeah, what else? What else is going on? I'll be starting a new position. I'm not leaving my current practice. I do love working there, but I just had to make some decisions financially, which ultimately meant taking on a second job. So I'm going to ultimately cut down my hours at the private practice and take on this second job and do them together. Thankfully, it still allows for flexibility, even though the new job will be in person. But I feel like it might be good for me to be able to get out of the house a couple days a week. Since I do work remotely, I am often home and I'm a homebody. So I think that it'll do me some good to force myself to go out of the house. And, what better way to force myself out than having to work out of the house? So I'm looking forward to getting started. I'm in the onboarding process right now, refreshing myself on certain specialty areas in psychiatry because it's going to be mental health and substance use focus. That's less of a focus with what I do in the practice currently, but it's going to be much bigger of a focus in the new job. So within the onboarding process, I'm just reacclimating with myself to a lot of what I'm going to have to use in terms of knowledge when I'm interacting with my new patients. So I'm excited for that. This month is 1 year of practicing as a provider. So I am hitting a huge milestone in my career. And I believe after this, I won't necessarily be considered a new grad. So that's kind of crazy. I think your first year in practicing, you're always, kind of considered a new grad. And in a way, I still feel like it, but I am definitely leaps and bounds from when I first started. I don't feel like I'm lying anymore when I, say I'm a psych NP and someone asks me what I do. I used to feel that way. I used to feel like, girl, why are you lying? Like, you don't do that. But now someone asks, oh, what I do? And I'm like, I'm a psych NP, like 10 toes down. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Like I do everything. And I enjoy my job. So I'm looking forward to kind of building on the knowledge I already have and challenging myself and learning new things and just expanding my horizons as a provider in the mental health field. So Wish me luck. I feel good about it. And ultimately, I'll keep you guys posted on how things are going. And yeah, things are good on the professional front. What else is going on? I guess I'll just kind of talk about what I'm reading right now. I bought the memoir, Prince Harry's memoir, a couple of days ago, and I've read a few pages. I'm very excited to dive into that book. It reminds me kind of Barack Obama's memoir. Not really that the content is the same, but just how it's a very big book. And it's a memoir of a very prominent public figure in American culture. And despite him being British, I feel like Prince Harry is definitely part of American culture now. So, and that's the context in which I identify him the most, because I wasn't really privy, nor did I care about his life was when he was in Britain. To be quite honest, the way a lot of other people relate to him, my interest peaked when he married Meghan, you know? So I am looking forward to reading and finishing. And I think I'm gonna maybe, depending on how I feel about the book, I might do an episode on it. I don't know if it'll be like a standalone. It might be like a bonus episode, but we'll see. Stay tuned for that. I'm reading All About Love by Bell Hooks. That is a beautiful book. It has opened my mind about love in ways that I did not consider before. And I'm definitely going to do a standalone episode on it. It could probably be 2-3 parts, but I don't think I'm going to divide it into that many installments. So I will definitely keep you guys updated on that too. And Untamed too. I am still making my way through. I'm going to talk about it on the next episode. One particular chapter that I read that I think I can kind of talk about on its own, and related to The Best Man, the final chapter that I watched over the holiday break, because I really enjoyed that series. And I think I read the particular chapter and watched the series around the same time. And I feel like there are some themes in both the series and the book that I wanted to talk about together. So we'll dive into that in a future episode soon. What else did I watch? We could just kind of talk about that for a sec. I watched The Best Man, the final chapter. I watched Bel-Air, which when it first came out last year, I heard it was really good. But I don't know. Sometimes I don't like participating in things when the hype is at an all-time high. That's clearly not the case with the Prince Harry book, because I bought it the day after it came out. But yeah, I was just really, I couldn't wait to start reading. But yeah, I watched Bel-Air this past holiday, and it had been almost a year since it came out. It was just as good as people said. I really enjoyed it. Season 2 is coming out, I think, this February. So I probably am just going to watch it when it comes out, since I watched season 1 and I'm now invested. So yeah, I think that was it. Oh, I also watched Ginny and Georgia on Netflix. I am a huge fan of that show. I watched season 1 when it first came out. And when season 2 came out, I was like, dang, it felt like it's been like 3 years. But then I checked the release date of season 1, and it was early 2019 or early. No. I think it was early 2021. So it's been like 2 years, but it felt a lot longer. And I think because I had enjoyed season 1 so much, like it felt like it took them forever to put out season 2. But yeah, they put it out last week. And I blasted through that season in a couple of days. And I really enjoyed it too. So those were the 3 series or 3 shows that I watched over break, in addition to reading and, working. I worked the week up until Christmas. I think I took Friday off, the 23rd. And then the week between Christmas and New Year's, I worked in the mornings and took the afternoon off. And then the week after New Year's, I just started back up like, a normal work week. So Yeah, back to work, starting a new job. So my private practice schedule is going to shift to later in the week, and then the new job I will be doing earlier in the week. So I feel like I have things under control in terms of scheduling. I've been telling my current patients that my schedule will change. And thankfully, a lot of the people that I see are pretty stable. So I will be able to see them a little bit further out if need be, since I won't have as much time to see them as frequently. So things are working out and I'm very happy. Yeah. What else? What else is going on? One thing that has kept me with continuing with this podcast is that even when I don't really feel like turning on the microphone and talking, one thing I say to myself is that the episode doesn't have to be long, and it really helps me just get up and do what I need to do. And we're about just at about 20 minutes. I don't know how long the published file will be, but I told myself today it doesn't have to be a long episode. And I don't think I'm gonna, go too much longer. I just want to leave you guys with something that helped me in 2022 and is going to continue to help me moving forward. When you have your moments when you're particularly down or demotivated or feel like you don't have much direction or you're doubting your capabilities, I felt that a few times last year. And I remember one particular time where I was dealing with this and I wrote in my journal and I got to a point where I was just writing everything that I've done. And I just started writing all of my accomplishments and I read it over and it gave me kind of like, I kind of gave myself a pep talk in those, in that short time that I was writing to myself, because as I was reading back what I had written about everything that I have accomplished over the past 10 or so years, I realized that I am that girl. Like sometimes you just have to really, because there might not be anyone else to really say this to you or say this for you. Like you really have to be your own cheerleader sometimes. And it's more so a luxury to have other people do this for you, because a lot of times you have to do it yourself. And in this moment, I was feeling particularly down and I turned to my journal and started writing. And I got to the point where I was just listing everything that I have done and listing everything that I was doing in the moment, everything that I was juggling and doing it successfully. And sometimes we just lose sight of that. Sometimes we just really get in our feelings and we're not, feeling as good as we should, and we're doubting ourselves. And I'm just saying this just in case anyone is dealing with this presently or deals with it frequently or has dealt with it in the past, but kind of just had to push through and didn't really know how to handle it in a productive way. Just pull out your notes app, or if you journal, pull out your journal, put out a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and just start writing everything that comes to mind that you have done, that you've accomplished, things that you're actually doing right now. You will surprise yourself at how much you have been able to do, and do on your own and accomplish and see the other side of. I finished that journal entry and I felt better. I felt so much better. I was like, you can feel how you feel in this moment, but it does not negate everything that you have done that has brought you to this point. Like, you should not be messing around talking about, I am falling short. I'm not, where I should be. That's not true. I'm sure with a lot of people who might be listening, that's not true. It doesn't feel like it's not true, but it is, not to say that we can't feel how we feel, but don't let it consume you. Don't let it engulf you. Don't let it allow you to lose sight of everything that you've been able to do, and the things that you're dealing with right now and successfully dealing with right now. And do you know how I know you're successfully dealing with it? Because you're here. Because you're here listening to my voice through a speaker or through headphones. Whatever you're dealing with right now has not taken you down. You are still here, you're still breathing, you're still moving, you're still kicking, there's still life in you. So as far as that's concerned, you are doing the absolute best you can, and you are kicking life's butt. And you just have to keep taking one breath at a time, literally, not even a day at a time, not even an hour at a time. Sometimes it's really taking it a minute at a time, taking it one inhale and exhale at a time. And sometimes that's all we have. Sometimes that's the best we can do. And if that's what it is, then that's what it is. Don't beat yourself up about, wanting to do more, wanting to be more in this moment. I really encourage anyone who deals with this or is dealing with it to remember everything you've accomplished to this point. And it should remind you that whatever you're dealing with right now, you will see the other side and you will be better for it. So that's really the word of encouragement that I felt strongly to share. And I think I'm gonna end the episode here. It doesn't have to be long. That's what I tell myself sometimes, and this episode doesn't have to be long. I just kind of wanted to say hello, say Happy New Year, do a quick check-in, tell you guys what's going on. And I'm very excited for what will ultimately be the podcast in 2023. And thank you guys as always. I really appreciate you all, every single one of you. I say this over and over, but it never gets old for me that people choose to listen to this podcast, and resonate with my thoughts, and listen to my voice and relate to me, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to every single one of you. I appreciate it. If you've listened to 1 minute of this podcast, I appreciate you through and through. And as always, please share, please recommend. If this episode or past episodes positively impacted you, please rate, please review on your preferred listening platform. Please email me if you have any questions that you wouldn't mind me answering on the podcast. Hit me up at btbwpodcast@gmail.com or DM me at my socials in the description box. And yeah, that's it. Happy New Year, guys. I'm wishing everyone who's listening a fantastic 2023, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.